Welcome again to the shop. I've got another little project here that has been sitting on the bench that I've been wanting to get to, and it's this little Stanley number 299, this little knife here, and there's something inside. It's been sitting here on the bench and I've used it a couple of times, but it needs cleaned up, so we're going to tear into this. Let me bring you down here on the bench and let's check it out. Here we go. It's a nice little Stanley. See there, $2.99. On the back here it says made in USA, blades inside. So let's take this apart, see what it looks like inside. Ooh, that's pretty bad. The other thing I don't like is when I store my blades, I like to store them upside down like this, because I generally use the knife like this, and I don't like the sharp edges sitting down here on the bottom when I'm using the knife like this all the time. I know it gets thrown and pitched around. I just figured that's the smartest way to do it. Those blades need to be pitched, and there needs to be some attention here on the inside. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can't get these put back together. Now, one thing, I was going to put these Irwin blades in. I don't know if you can see right there. It's got this little burr on the tip right there, and it was a real pain in the neck. It's not conducive to making a nice cut. So I took all of my blades over to the sander, and touched all these edges up on this edge, not this edge here. So I'm going to put these in here. And the way I like to do these is to put them with the blade side up. And I will touch this up on there. Actually, I'm just going to put one of these in. We'll set that in there. Here we go. There we go, all finished up. I used what I call my ToolScouter blue. It's a translucent blue, and I think it gave a nice little accent on this little knife. The way that I've always been taught to put on finishes is that less is more. In other words, the fewer strokes you can use when you're applying, the better off you are. But I learned something on this, and I probably did something I shouldn't. I put acetone, put a little bit of acetone in the can, then sprayed the glue, the blue paint, into that can and let it mix with the acetone. And I probably should have used a lacquer thinner or a mineral spirits instead, but lacquer thinner would have probably been better. But this here ended up working quite well. When I applied it, it all went down into the crevices and didn't stay up onto the points. And I'm sure that that'll wear off as I use it, because I don't intend to necessarily hang this on the wall. I will probably use this little knife and have it here on the bench. But I noticed that as I applied and just kept taking the bristles and running them over, I kept putting paint on, but then after a while I stopped applying more paint and just kept brushing over the existing, and it seemed that the acetone evaporated quickly and left the paint, and it started to apply to the points, and I think it turned out nicely. I always kind of check myself when I'm telling you about these tools that I do and how I'm happy with the way it turned out. If I'm not happy with the way it turned out, I probably wouldn't be posting the video. But this one here, again, was a lot of fun to do, and hopefully you enjoyed it as well. So we have another tool that this here will probably be put to use here in the shop. There we go. Once again, another little handy tool, and as I mentioned several times, we'll be putting this to use, so I'm sure you'll see it in the background of some of our future videos, and even be using it some once in a while. And I've always liked these. The one thing I've always been leery about is carrying them in my tool belt because the blade does not retract, but having them on a workbench for me is great. So the only time I've ever carried one regularly was when I had a leather insert that I had in my tool belt, that I was able to drop this into the leather insert, and that way I was able to keep it secure and to keep it safe and keep it from cutting anything I didn't want it to. But hey guys, every day spent in the shop is a good day. I appreciate you coming by and sharing this time with me, visiting me here in the shop. If you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up. If you know anybody else that enjoys this kind of content and would enjoy watching us put together some of these tools and different projects around the homestead, please send them the link. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, so the next time we've got a video, you'll be notified and be able to come by and visit again. So here's to each and every one of you. Have yourself a great day. God bless.